coral cities with purple green windows with huge planes and palm trees. They sat in comfortable leather chairs. She stood there a minute. Then she sat beside him. I tried to think of a couple of sorrows as irreversible as death. Some bad things have happened in my life. You were born a woman. I lost my breath. He had few detachable phrases, and I can remember little of his speech. Do you suppose I like that kind of house? I don't feel that the crisis is real. Of course, we may be at war this time next week. I will signalize my return to life. I have completely ruined this morning. They have all the necessities of life on a mountain. The house has become her passion. We are sitting around the fire one night. I am tired, he said. You see, they had to visit one another or wander from town to town. They did a lot of nice things for me. They still mean and mean. One Friday night, I found myself in a roller rink. The music was playing. I was sick in bed. 5 years later, just by chance, I decided to keep breakup. It visualized the general dynamics of this rule game. One must develop many rule games. Would you mind going? Would you mind going? Another person over here. Another is told that he must tie the first man to the wall. One person shakes the can. The rope ends are tied together. Nothing had changed. Everything kept its old shape. At least they reached the railroad track. On the way back, they looked at one another a mess. Get your chairs, everybody. If they are not married, do they live? A curtain diminishes. Why is there a choice? Why is there a resistance? Let her go. He has to examine things personally and talk to people. Thank you very much for your letter. I mean this, seriously. Transfer of the shadow image, the shadow image, the shadow image, the shadow image, the color image. If the limits of my language are the limits of my world, if the limits of my shadow are the limits of my world, if the limits of my colors are the limits of my world, if the limits of my shadow, seeking a breath of fresh air, I go to the window. There must be some place where I am not completely alone. Only if S intends to do A. On the city map, the world ends at the wall. The utterance leads off with a verb in the first person singular of the present indicative active. Phonological theory. Syntactic theory. Semantic theory. A noun may be either proper or common. A verb may be transitive or non-transitive. I can't name the ship. I can't name. It is not obvious to both S and H that S will do A in the normal course of events. What was our world like? What is our world like? What is our world like? I thought to myself, I once sat down. I tried to imagine. I also went to the desert. I can put it this way. I don't really know. I could not remember. Authors never existed, I asked suddenly. I fell asleep in the street. I traced the law of sufficient reason. I had to admit, I was in the subjunctive. I was happy to discover cause. I thought of breathing deeply. I sighed as one does at night. I pointed to the beach. I said, this wouldn't help. I waited for the flame. I can't recall the time. I tried to describe. The body resumes its position on the moving map. Where it was during the interval is only history, the making of which is a face inscribed with the division of madness and uproar. The separation of angles is permanent. The separation of angles is permanent, for once disconnected, they cannot resume their shape, and geometry has no place in chaos, just as country has no place in the division of a face.